Welcome back to the Monotech podcast. Once again, I've got to apologize for a delay in production of this episode compared to the previous. I think it's been almost a month or a month and a half. Life gets in the way, waxing and waning of motivation. But I won't waste too much time in the introduction because I'm really excited to have Anita on as a guest. And between you and me, I'm trying to make Anita a co-host for this podcast. I think it'll be really fun to have a co-host on because what I'm really struggling with is the motivation to record podcasts on my own. I think it'd be a lot more fun to have a co-host on. And if we don't have any guests, it can be just me and Anita catching up on the week. So they'll hopefully make things more consistent. But anyway, let's jump into the episode and I hope you enjoy.
Nice
Hello,
one.
everyone. So thanks for joining me, Anita. So I think for people who don't know you, but who might be in the Manawatu area, who are you and what are you about?
So what am I about? I'm Anita. I'm a second year student of UCOL, studying the Bachelor of IT. And I do gardening, side hustle. But
Nice.
yeah, I also manage Code Camp, which teaches kids how to code. Yeah. So that's a bit about me.
Yeah. Cool. Also, no, they were kind of cool to jump into Code Camp. How did you get into the tech industry?
I thought because I've had a lot of experience in business and just, great bosses in Manawatu and different areas that I thought, let me just have a try of, what is it? Project management was something that I hadn't studied before. I'd studied IT before, but project management is something
right?
Okay, wasn't something I had studied before. So yeah, that was kind of the reason why I wanted to study. I'm waiting till next semester to do that and just get a foundation first year foundation, and then second year straight into it. So
nice.
yeah,
That's really exciting.
yeah.
Well, what's it like being back in university? What's it like studying?
The older student, it's a bit of a
What's the age range of your class?
It depends on which class. I think a lot of them are under 30. Yeah.
Okay. Like school leavers, pretty much.
Yeah. And about a third of us are above 30. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I guess you get a bit of people who are either career switching or like wanting to study more. So it's a good mix.
Yeah. A lot of actually, apart from the first year class, it's not really first year, it's like amalgamation of a very small class, amalgamation of all different levels. Apart from that one, most of them are like you find a number of them are from the army. So they're not quite. You don't really associate age. You associate them more with the protocols of army and where they want to specialize in. They're very they're good students, and it's good to see the next the next leaders there. But I'm so I'm wanting to get a job, so you just get right up to the give them a challenge.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
how's
my
running
job.
Code Camp? How's running Code Camp and studying at the same time?
Code Camp is like part-time, so there's not really much. We just have to do advertising, get the word out there, and just you try and talk to the parents about what's coming up and stuff like that. So it's a little bit on the easy side. Just want to have things running smoothly, though. Last year we were trying to get some schools involved, but some of them pulled out, some of them, are very interested, that sort of thing. Yeah. So, but hard sometimes if there's not enough numbers, and then, they're just, the school provides with those things, so that parents are not really keen. So, just got to show the value of, having tutors teach, the essentials, and yeah. I think the
What do you teach
students
the kids to keep them interested? Like what sort of stuff do you teach?
Well, a lot of the good question. But a lot of the materials, it's kind of self discovery for the students, so it's what they're interested in. I think we teach them a range, get them to understand what they're trying to learn, what they're wanting to do, and how, to get to that place. And it's a lot of loops. It's a lot of timing. Wait 1 second and then do this sort of thing. So it's about just giving them the concepts, rather than right, let's just put you on this, you're going to do this for the next 100 years. 2 minutes would feel like 100 years for them. So it's just just showing them what what's out there. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard with me because I'm starting, whereas other my tutors, they know a lot more, and so you're only going to be able to teach what you know.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I was thinking about, like, because you're talking about the kids, the high level thinking, you can't go into the nitty gritty. I was talking to a friend at jiu-jitsu, and we're observing this. We don't know who it was. Like, it was one of the coaches. It could have been their sons, like very, like, maybe 5 years old in age, and like the coach is being so hard on the kid. And we're trying to figure out why. Is this kid their son, or whatever? And then we kind of realized that like the pressure you put on children, like if you like put so much pressure on them to learn like a martial art or something, they're not going to enjoy it. So the key is to make it fun, right? In the beginning, so it's kind of like what CodeCamp would do, right? Is to try and make programming fun, because you can instantly make it. I think university kind of makes it a boring. Like, I've never been to university programming, but I can imagine it's not very like enjoyable. The most like fun part about programming for me is like seeing like a website, like you type some code, like you instantly see a change on the web page. But I think for kids, it's maybe games or high level stuff, or like with Scratch, for example, right? You're talking about Scratch, where you can put the blocks together and like see you created this, and this is the effect that it kind of creates. You kind of get that feedback loop.
Yeah. And they get really interested in, this is what we've learned, and
you tell mom and dad at home, or parents at home.
They just always, they go home and it's like, Mom, Dad, we've learned this, and it's really
I made
cool.
this. Like, you can like show people it. You can show like, I made this. You can show it to them. Yeah. So I guess that's where you see the value, right? Well, what's the struggles of creating? Because you said that you got to show like value in to teachers or like schools. What don't people get about what you do? What are some like roadblocks? Not the website, but like the roadblocks.
Well, that was a roadblock, actually. One of the students, he was trying to program in Roblox. He spent almost a day trying to get it to work. I was like, you sweetheart, it's not good.
Okay.
But I told him, there's just things you learn, especially with slow internet,
True.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it just gets him thinking. And I mean, he can do some of that at home, because of better internet. But yeah, the things that are difficult to teach and to tell the parents is not really on my side. It's and anything that I can influence. It's mostly if they see value, which they see value in the holiday camp, but because of the outside financial constraints, it becomes difficult. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why it's hard to encourage the parents. But after that, yeah, sometimes, because it's my first time managing, and so not everything goes smoothly. Like, do I send the email? Maybe I send it a couple of days later, and it's not good enough, So I find that a bit hard, and some of the things that I can't do, I send it to my boss. But if the boss doesn't do, then it's like, I can't.
Isn't most jobs like, you kind of have to make it up, really? Like, that's what being in the role is, right? Like, you kind of make the decision, and you always feel like you don't know what to do because you're at you're the only person who actually knows, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's to a point where like you have to make it up. Like, you have to make the decision. You just have to be sure of yourself, or is it not like that?
I think it's just about there's a little bit of makeup, but I think it's a matter of what is it? An educated guess. And it's just like the love and the consideration of those who's around you. That's what propels. That's what drives. I mean, for most managers, I mean, it's a matter of money. You got to,
at the end of the day,
your efforts translate into a little bit more translates to money. Whereas as a worker, you don't, it's not that you don't think about it. You do your job, the boss asks you to do your job well and enjoy what you're doing and be able to, communicate your love for your role. For the manager, however, the whole business rides upon their shoulders a bit. The success of, the program that you're implementing. And so, it becomes difficult. Should we spend this money for this? Should we, should we look into investing in this area? Not necessarily money, but time and effort into the person, etc. So it becomes like money. Yeah. And so even if I don't know everything, it's just a consideration, and not everything is common sense, but it's consideration of the people that are around you. Yeah. Trying the best foot forward.
Yeah, have you made any kind of any mistakes along the way, or any kind of troubles?
Let's just get out of the frame now. There's always mistakes.
Okay, like how do you overcome them? Learn and grow.
Cry. No.
But it's like
just explain that, hey,
explain,
I'm just new, go easy on me,
True, yeah. It's just like the the kid who was working on the Roblox for an entire day, right? It takes time and effort to learn new things, or it's always going to be frustration, right? You got to learn from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been able to explain those frustrations. I mean, I talk to the parents as well. Hey, look, they've had a difficult day today because this, and this, and yeah, you're just gonna be patient and understanding. I forgot your question. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. I think you go on. Keep talking. Take the answer. Take the question wherever you want it to go.
Okay. So yeah, I think with Code Camp, it's a learning curve. Everything that you come across, it's a learning curve. For some managers, they know, and then they can just have this kind of grace and ease to their job. And so you notice sometimes, like when we go to meetups, the people, they're so brilliant orators, but they've been doing that for a long time, and they just see the value. So that, I mean, the value transacts into money.
Okay.
It translates. There's this kind of this hidden thing about money that you've got to achieve, right? And they just see the value. They can educate that value, and then people get inspired. Yeah, I want to be a part of that. Not realizing that they've gone completely into this kind of we will become that advertisement to show this is the most amazing thing ever. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of my small take.
Interesting. Are you a brilliant orator? Like, could you speak to a crowd? Is this something you would like to get good at? Is that a requirement for a
Yes.
manager, is to be able to speak? Okay. Tell me about management. Like, what's because we talked about this briefly. Like the worker thinks about like the job itself, right? I was talking to someone about this actually Friday night, like because they own like a dance studio, and they were telling me like you got the dance teachers, they just think about the students they're teaching, right?
Yeah.
And like they only care about like the lesson, make sure the lesson plan works. And then like you got the manager who's like managing the operations of like the business, right? Of like, well, I guess each tutor, right? Each class, making sure everything runs smoothly. And then like another step beyond that is the owner thinking about like how the business is like growing. How do we like is everyone happy? Everyone getting paid well? And like you got to understand those levels. And then the issue with like a lot of small businesses is that a lot of small businesses become a job in disguise. Like the owner just does everything. Like they're the chef, they're the accountant, they're like but they're not the big picture thinker. There's a book called The E-Myth Revisited. I've never heard about it. It talks about like there's like 3 parts of a business, but one of them there's like there's 3 types of people. I think I can't remember. Like one's the worker, the engineer, the manager, and something else, technician. Like you don't want to be those things. You want to be like the person overseeing the growth of your business. Coming back to management. Yeah, what are your thoughts? What is management?
Management is, well, if we go, the study side of things, it's managing your time and resources and the people that are in charge with the areas. Management is when a worker thinks management, they think these are the deliverables that we need. Whether that manager is the greatest person alive or not. They're always, yeah, I won't go there. But the worker sees them as somebody that's watching over their performance and someone who's like they're in charge. But really, the manager, especially with small businesses, is in charge of the product. They're in charge of the morale of the company. They're in charge of
Operations.
also the finances as well as the law, the requirements of the business. You can't, there's certain laws that they have to abide to, certain conventions. I don't know, there's standards. I'm learning that side of IT. It's especially if you're marketing or not marketing, manufacturing like products like I suppose motherboards or
Interesting. Yeah. That's very technical. Hardware. Okay.
Yeah. That they what I was going to say, they have to follow standards like ISO or
ISO standards,
they have to look at all of those things. How much time is it going to take them? How many people are needed to do that? There's so many things that a manager looks at, and they need to think quickly, and they can't take so much time because that worker needs the work, and they need to know how much to perform so that we can meet the objectives. That is why we get taught at Tech, you've got so much time to do this assignment.
Okay, interesting.
And that's time management, but actually that directly relates to the performance of the worker in the business. So you've got to you can't be taking your time just to make
a decision. Okay, and it may not be the best decision, but you need to make a decision, right?
Yeah, not just decision, but like coding or just your knowledge of the job,
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard.
Interesting.
I'm learning.
Is it hard to explain?
Little
fair
bit.
enough. Okay.
Little bit.
No, I think you do really well.
I haven't been in IT. I've been in
other places, but you can use them as like a, what do you call it?
Experience.
Example of it. Experience, yeah, exactly. So, because let's use the example of Scrum and software, because that's what I'm familiar with. We're very excited. We'll talk about my company that I work for. We're very like a small development team. We're sort of fractured into different portions. We've got the development team, clinical team, manufacturing, etc., etc. So we've got one team that's very technical, like in the tech, like does technical things, coding, for example, versus like other parts of the company do more of the domain skills, like making stuff and understanding, interfacing with the clients. So that's how our company sort of structured. So you can imagine, if you're thinking about management already, you can kind of see how the organization of our company works. So how we work is we do Scrum Scrum. I don't know, like that's our business methodology is Scrum, which is it's like a form of Agile, I think. And a lot of people don't like Scrum, but we'll go on to that later. We'll move on to that later. So Scrum, basically, we do a 2-weekly sprint process. We have a sprint goal. We have issues. We've got a product backlog. We have a product owner who deals with the backlog, who they talk to the stakeholders, and he or she will prioritize the like the backlog, most urgent up the top. We as a development team do our t-shirt sizing, so to determine how big an issue would be. But it's like really going to take ages. We give it a large. If it's going to be a small thing to fix, a small. So, for example, if we were to restructure our entire web page, that's obviously going to be a large size versus change the color of a button will be small. Potentially, it's not always the case. That's what it is. So we also have a Scrum Master who's also the tech lead, who's also like does programming as well. Within our
He needs
sprint
to be
reflections and
managed.
sprint, yeah, he's pretty much a manager, but he also codes as well. He'll kind of assign us issues and tasks. We do have a bit of autonomy as well, so we can, because we understand the sprint goal, we'll do things to reach that sprint goal. So we don't have to do exactly what, like this issue, right? We can create our own issues if it at least meets the sprint goal. So obviously we're shipping software, not hardware. How'd management work in that case? Because there's two kind of managers, right? You got like the product owner, the overseer, and you got the scrum master. Are you familiar with? Does that make sense?
I get it. Yeah, it's definitely not like what's out there. I think with
Yeah, it's
IT,
different, right? I think it's
they've
different.
yeah, management with IT has evolved. You're gonna have to see it with more of the view that as the job as new types of jobs are created, there's a backing from like no, not universities, but you've got a lot more like the socialists, the psychologists. You've got just that kind of general. These are how people work better, and so these methodologies have been created to make it easier for
like Scrum as a methodology, right? Because it takes into account how people so work together and psychology.
Yeah, I'm gonna move this. Excuse me.
That's right.
Yeah, and so it's different to the brick and mortar businesses or the jobs there because they rely on culture, normal ways of doing things. Even if it's, I mean, supermarket has been a bit, relatively old but new-ish, right? And so you're just putting things on the shelves and then going off, but it's still common sense. Whereas programming, what you're achieving is totally different, and people um people have to manage first as a worker. This is not something I understand. If, for those who are new, it's kind of like it's not something I understand because nobody has really coded before. Yes, they have, but then it's a relatively new way of working, sort of thing, and so you have to have a way to learn and grow and to manage it. So that is why Scrum's invented. Because you can only have a certain amount of time before you go, oh, what have we done? And so this is why management isn't seen as management. It's about managing the process of how to create that, that functionality on website or the whole entire website, or all of the different components that are made up of the job. So or of the product. So you don't have the manager would actually be the head. It's like the supervisor, or what are they called on the mechanic side when you go to cars?
Foreman.
Foreman, exactly. They're watching all of these things, but they're also, they're performing their work as well. So it doesn't work the same as his big boss. They're watching you. It doesn't kind of work that way. The brick and mortar with this job is not really. It's not really there. Yeah.
Oh, so the brick and mortar is like the big boss watches like the smaller boss and like, oh, okay, like this trickle down of hierarchy. Okay.
Yeah. But the other thing is, there's you'll find a dynamic though. I think in most places, there's always a manager when there's contractors.
Okay.
And I've lived and breathed contract. Like there's no
Okay. Tell
business.
me about this.
I've only been in house worker for maybe 2 out of I don't know how many jobs I've had. 10, 12? About
Okay.
2, in house. So rest of them is like contract work. Um, people need that that person's not going to be there, or they are going to be there, but their job is such that you go here, there, right? Contract is like that. It's like gardening.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
So, when you're in house, the boss has to give you the work, whereas
Yeah.
like for me, the students or the tutors that I've got, they're on contract, casual contract. So yeah, you're that's my responsibility to give them some work, right? But I kind of say I can give them work, but yeah, bit of a difference. Yeah. Anyways, it's a little bit of a tangent from IT, but yeah, I know that side. And so sometimes the technicians, depending on how big the organization is, sometimes the technicians would be contractual,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes. You're doing huge systems, you're doing it for, bigger companies. No, you can be in-house. Everyone can be in-house, but because if you're small business and there's only a certain amount of projects that need the technician,
Yeah.
then you outsource.
Outsource. So one example could be like building a marketing website, right? You don't need someone in-house to build your marketing website for you. You just get a contractor in to build the market, or you ask like I don't know, what do you call it, a web agency to make your marketing website. But let's say you didn't have access to a web agency, you go to one person, can build our marketing website for us, and they just build the website for you, give you the code, and that's a contract over because you don't need them again until you need to rebrand or remarket your website. But then obviously, if you have someone who works on your core app product, you bring them in house.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on the scope. Yeah, and it depends on the what kind of business you are. What's the core? Yeah, what's your core function?
Okay.
I think for you guys, you're gonna need a few in house, right?
That's
You're
right.
gonna
Yeah, we've got
need.
an in-house team. We did have contractors. I think this is before I started, but that just I think was the nature of how the business was like at the time. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was a mature company, so we just had contractors here and there to help out with certain aspects, like certain
Yeah.
releases. But we like for example, our marketing website was made by a web agency, but we have the code. So because it's mainly like a marketing website is mainly copyright and good copyright. It's not like really programming. It's a little bit of programming, but it's really just good copy. Make sure the pages load.
Content management.
Content management. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So yeah, like that. Yeah. We do have a separate CMS that we built, but yeah, that's kind of the example of it. Yeah. Of it. Yeah.
CMS. Oh, content
Yeah.
management system. Yep.
Yeah, content management system. Yeah, we've got like our own in-house. Yeah, funny story. We were going to do a CMS with like a off the shelf CMS, like a service. Like the way we want to run that CMS, because we need like different level permissions for different level users, and end up being like we got a quote for $70,000 per year, just for like so we had to roll out our own. So yeah, but that's a funny story.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, so I guess. Oh yeah, and I think but that CMS is probably it's aimed at like Fortune 500 companies like Nike, where you need to have like complex systems. Sorry, what were you going to say before I interrupted?
I was gonna say, my first job, at the time, I was in my 20s, like young
Yeah.
20s. I knew, it was make or break for me at the time. My mind was like, I want to get a job.
Yeah.
Studies is great, but what am I going to do? I'm just going to use computers, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, my, I suppose, family friend, um, I might have talked to you about this,
Yeah.
but um, the my yeah, I was able to get a web design job that was
Oh
after
yeah. Yeah.
2004. They built a content management system from
Yeah.
scratch. Not
Yeah.
from scratch, but yeah,
Yeah.
totally
Okay. No.
new.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
They rolled their own
they
out.
built
Yeah.
it from scratch. Let's get this.
You probably could.
Hmm. I don't know what they used because at the time I was
PHP,
using.
some PHP.
Mm,
Not even that.
ah,
Okay, what about some PHP? Because WordPress was around back then. WordPress, and then you could make a CMS out of a WordPress.
no, they used C sharp.
C sharp. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know, maybe.
I
So they
mean,
they have their own database. You'd have like a person log in, they'd write an
yep,
article, like in there, in like a what's it called, a as you see or something, as you can see editor, or you as you see it editor, like
yeah,
a rich
that's
text
what.
editor, right?
Yeah, text
Yeah, that's
editor,
hard.
the
The text
inputs.
editor, input stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it probably converts it into HTML or Markdown. They get saved on the database. People can read it. Yeah.
yeah, object orientated.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
whole website, yeah, because
All right.
you'd have to select which page you want and then go to the editor, edit
Yeah.
that part of the page, and then yeah, and
And like,
you think
upload
that the
images
editor,
and yeah. Could you
yeah,
upload images to the CMS? Do you remember?
yep,
These are really hard things people don't realize. Like,
banners, everything.
yeah,
They had a very comprehensive system. They
okay.
developed
And they
it from
build it their own.
scratch and
Okay,
built their own. It was called GetNet, and so
get me. I'm gonna Google that.
yeah, that's still there.
Okay,
.co.nz, but it's not existing. Um, he went off and did my boss, a kind of family friend. He
yeah,
he went off to do breweries,
okay.
give people kits to make, wine and beer and stuff like that. So
Like
that was his
people with licenses or just Joe
just
blogs.
yeah, any Joe block. Yeah.
Okay,
And so that was several years later. But they would have the system. They would at the time I was contract. No, I was
yeah.
contract before I graduated. Um
This is web
and
design, or is it something? So you're doing something else now? Is this still web designing,
web design,
techish?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Same
yeah,
same yeah, same company. And so they would I would be employed full time to put the images online, online, the
yeah. Mhm.
content online, what the customer wants. Um, but they would charge for the service to make that website. Then from there, the customer has that um the permissions to go and into the um I always forget because I always think CRM. Um,
Oh yeah,
CMS.
yeah,
um, yeah. Um, and so yeah, there was a whole system, and they would be paying, up, from $1,000 up or 1,500
yeah.
up, sort of thing, just for their website. But this was all in Palmerston North, and I mean, this was in 2004.
Where was it hosted? Where was everything hosted? Where'd you guys host things?
Oh, I don't know that side of things actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, probably GoDaddy time. I
Oh,
forget.
interesting. Okay. No AWS back then. Was AWS there? I think AWS was
No,
around back then, right?
what's
No, okay.
cloud? I've heard of
Oh,
cloud.
there's no cloud. Okay, yeah, okay. Because
There
there's
was cloud.
oh
No
well,
cloud.
okay, okay. Because you could have like a server in your office building. I don't know, or
I didn't even see a server. at the time. We had the business in Ruahine, so it's since closed down. I mean, nothing's there. Doesn't it's on sale on lease.
Really? Okay.
But it was opposite the petrol station on Ruahine Street. So yeah, I didn't see. It was kind of small, but I think they had servers in there, but they would have. Yeah, I think it was just a matter of let's just move on. I think that was what. Yeah, but
fair enough.
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot from that job?
Yeah, a little bit. I was young.
Okay.
I
fair enough.
didn't really.
A job's a job.
A job is a job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so, what do you hope to get? So, with your studies from UCOL, do you hope to become a project manager, or what's the end goal of study and work? What's your dream life going to be like?
Yeah. Well, staying here is not bad, and
That's good to know.
spending time with the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get just the experience. I know that that's I'm at probably a stage I can't toot my on my abilities, but I might be at a stage where I can say, well, I can aim for something a bit more, with the experience I've got, a bit more than what I'm putting myself through. That was initially before 2020. I thought, I've got to get out of manual labor.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so that was my thinking. Now that like we did Minuatech, they have a group with the CFIA group.
No,
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So you go through a checklist and of the skills that you think you've got. And it's really fun to go through.
Is it on the webpage? Website?
Yeah.
And how long does it take? I might have done this is this for the mentor-mentee thing? Okay.
I love it.
You love it? Okay. It took a long time, and I had to read through there's 100 questions on there.
Yeah, you just keep going.
Okay, and you enjoyed it.
I might have this one, or I might have this. Oh, I have this. Oh, maybe I could improve in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun.
Okay. And then what was the end result?
Hmm?
What was the end result of what was so you've done all this? What happened?
Well, this is where I've really enjoyed understanding myself and realizing, I can have more of a say, especially in terms of business. I can have more of a say of what I was going to say, where the direction of a business can go a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't toot my horn because, I make mistakes.
That's what every master is able to admit, right? I think if you're not competent, you will never admit your mistakes. Then that's like a sign of competency is the ability to know when you're wrong.
Yeah. But then some people can go.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, Anita, you can be humble for now. Maybe next time we can talk about what the direction is.
I'm all that. Bag of chips, man.
So when you graduate, do you see yourself working? What would your job be? Would you be like the CEO or what
No.
AWS, or what's your kind of dream?
All I want to do at UCOL is get as much experience and much exposure into the world of IT, especially in terms of cloud. Yeah, definitely. I just want to know all. But just to get enough exposure to be relevant and useful for whatever job that I go into. That's really. I mean, I don't think I'm ready to start something, even though Code Camp is it's starting something in Palmerston North. Yeah,
It's a good experience.
I do still want to experience, and learn and grow. Um, with I find it hard to put words to this, but um, yeah, learn and grow in my experience. That's really why I'm in the tech industry now. Mm, yeah, I do just want to learn and grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. I want to also learn and grow too.
Yeah.
I want to be a better programmer as well, and get to know people, I guess,
Yes.
in the community.
Yeah.
Do you think Palmerston North could be the next, or Palmerston North Manawatu could be the next Silicon Valley?
Yeah. That's the same. Let's go, man. Yeah, that's important. I think that's I think Palmerston North has got a very big, vibrant tech industry here.
Yeah, that no
It's
one realizes, right? Like, I think because with the success
nobody.
of the Manawa Tech, it's like something starting to grow.
Yeah, it hasn't grown. It's an
Or become more
iceberg.
visible, I mean.
Yeah,
Okay, it's the iceberg, tip of the iceberg. Okay, there's more
it's
layers below that.
it's a lot more layers. That's where Steve, uh,
Yeah. Shout out
Ramona,
Steve.
Ramola, yeah,
Shout out to Ramola.
Ramola, yay, hi, if you're watching, yeah, um, Sarah, uh, my mentor, Tony.
We should get them on. We should get them on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
They will have a lot to say.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
We
Like, I
have to
think
talk to
yeah.
we have to talk to Steve. He's
Yeah.
yeah. I think this
Get
is
Steve back on.
kind of a good role because I asked about his role, his job.
Yeah.
It's not something I reckon it with Manawati. There's a lot more there's a lot more exposure in Palmy than I would say even Summer of Tech has. I'd be, when I had a look at all the because I'm also part of Summer of Tech.
Yeah.
I had a look at all the businesses there. Palmy has more. Palmy has a lot more. When I don't even know all the startups here, but I know there's a lot
Well, yeah,
more in
startups
Palmy.
too. There's startups. We've got a startup incubator at where is it? What's the place near Massey?
Oh,
I've
Turitea,
drawn a blank. Tortilla, yeah, but like
Linton.
the factory. The factory is a startup incubator as well, right? So there's probably tech related people there. So
There's heaps. Messi
yeah,
has
because I'm so
heaps.
out of the loop because I work for an Australian company. I'm like not really in the know-how for people working here.
No,
But that's another thing too. Like my
because
hope is like Palmer could be like a remote working place because I think it's so easy to get around. I guess the schools here are
yeah,
pretty good. So good to have like
yeah,
families and like you can work here remotely. We're close to Wellington. We're not in like a chock-a-blocked
mm,
city. I think Palmy's pretty well planned. Like if it had more people,
mm,
it wouldn't get traffic jams.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And if you're in city centre, it's easy to walk or get a
yeah.
What are those things? Flamingos.
Flamingos. Yeah.
No,
Or you can
we're
cycle.
not
It's
promoting a
flat, nice and
brand,
flat.
are we? Huh?
Yeah, not promoting another startup, but it's nice and flat too, so you can bike around. The weather isn't
Yeah.
great.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The weather isn't too good. Like it's pretty cold sometimes that it rains, but yeah,
I'm not going to downplay what the mayor and the councillors do. They're doing a good job.
yeah,
It's a little bit. My daughter was saying now she's 15.
yeah.
She said to me, "Mum, what is there to do in Pummy?" That's a dangerous thing. There's not much. But I'm not saying that there isn't much. I'm just saying that there could be more. Because
it could be
the
more.
kids,
I
the
guess it's
cheap,
tough for like young people, like younger people, I guess.
most
But that's where you can
most of
explore
them,
and come back.
because
Yeah,
this is where, that's why most of the youth, they, if they get a taste, like my kids have got a taste of Wellington because I go
yeah,
there
yeah,
on and off. They can see, wow, we can go to this shop and this shop, but
yeah.
Palmy doesn't have all those things
Mm.
because we basically got a lot of small businesses.
Yeah.
If a big player comes out of Palmy, there's a lot of collapse. That's why
Okay.
the councillors, people in the in the business sphere, always talk and have, give assurance that Palmy loves, because we've got to keep the big players here.
Yeah.
It's like telecom, IRD, Ministry of what is, there's something here, a ministry here.
Yeah, what Ministry of Transport's headed in Palmerston
Yeah.
North. Ministry of Transport. Enable's here. We've got Enable.
Yeah, yeah.
Another government. There's a few government orgs. StudyLink is based in Palmy, right? I think
Study.
StudyLink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have their processing
headquartered
here.
here. Yeah, processing
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of government orgs in Palmerston North.
So they're considered big players,
Yeah,
which they
big
would stay.
entities.
They would
Yeah,
stay because it's not far from Wellington.
yeah.
For some of them, it's just a plane ride, 10-minute plane ride.
They actually fly down to Wellington. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because some of them, especially the high management, it's just a pocket change.
Oh wow.
I'm so sorry if you're listening. Us
Cool. So
peasants
Anita,
here.
we're getting near to the end. Did you have any advice for like your
Okay.
younger self? This is why I ask people like, what do you have any advice for your younger self?
My younger self. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me and letting me talk. This is
It's been a
something,
pleasure.
yeah, I've really enjoyed talking here and talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. The younger self, I would say, I haven't asked myself that, and I think it'd be, if I think on top of my head, it's how um reassess. I mean, this is for me. Reassess what you think is important for you right now.
Mhm.
Um, but when I'm here and now, just don't, regret. Don't feel you have to regret the decisions that you make. Um, and just keep your core belief strong, and let all the other, no, this won't work, all that talk be minimized.
Okay.
For those who are learning coding,
Mhm.
please code, please, please,
Keep building,
please.
keep coding.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm, you know, promoting my business. Well, I am a little bit, um, but yeah, code, because your work is going to involve that in the
Yeah.
next 5 years. It's a lot of it, and whoever knows that stuff is going to be at more of an advantage then than they are now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Okay. I'm going to follow up to this. What do you think about AI taking like, oh, I can build the web page using Open ChatGPT. And what do you think about like currently the economic status? I think there's a huge contraction in the tech industry, but I think this is mainly. I know. I don't know. I think like overall, there's been a drop in the economy, right? I don't know. This is like political now, but
Yeah.
if you just keep focusing, doing good work, working hard, you're going to get a job in the end. Like you can't just plan for next year, right? Because obviously, if you learn coding, you could get the market could rise up again in 5 years' time. Things could change. Yeah.
I would say do more.
Do more. Yeah.
Do more. As you said about remote, this is kind of where it's a start. You always see work from home. Yeah. Take either some of those opportunities or upskill.
Yeah.
I think it's the time to study. I think it's the time to
grow.
To grow and in your understanding
grow,
and your passion
build connections
for it.
And learn. Yeah. Okay. Find your passion in it, I guess. Yeah.
Find your passion within that, your work.
Exactly.
I was going to say something. Yeah, just keep going.
Keep learning.
Learn
keep
more
going.
and grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. If someone wanted to get in touch with you, Anita, how do they get in touch with you?
LinkedIn.
What's the best way? LinkedIn. Perfect.
Yeah,
That's how I got in
LinkedIn.
touch with you. LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but then
Cool.
you knew me from the meetups.
Yeah, but like Anita's very, very responsive on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not really. Only joking.
You choose to be.
Um,
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on, Anita, and we'll hopefully talk again.
Yeah,
Bye.
that'll be cool. Okay,
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Manawa Tech Podcast with Anita. Please let me know what you think and if you think Anita should be brought on as a co-host. Thank you very much and catch you in the next one.